So MonkeyCode reached out, and the pitch is honestly kind of a lot. Fully open source, enterprise grade, self-hosted, free models, no credit card needed. And since it's built by an actual cybersecurity company, it's got security scanning built right into how you code. That's a lot to claim all at once. So I'm not just going to read you the feature list. We're setting it up, using it like you actually would day to day, and I'll tell you straight where it's good and where it's not. No press release version here. MonkeyCode is built by Chaitin Tech, the same company behind SafeLine, which we've covered on this channel before. Worth knowing, going in, this isn't an anonymous side project, it's a security company extending into AI dev tooling. The core idea, one platform that handles dev environments, AI model management, task management, and project requirements together. Self-host it inside your company for the whole R&D team, or use their hosted version with managed environments and built-in models. It's positioned against tools like Cursor, Windsurf, and GitHub Copilot Workspace, but explicitly aimed at teams and engineering leaders, not solo vibe coders. Centralized admin panel, permissions, audit logging, fully open source under AGPL 3.0, full codebase public on GitHub. So let's actually do this. Click Get Started. You sign in with Gmail, no card, API key, nothing to fill out. And boom, we're in. This is it, the MonkeyCode AI tasks screen. Just a text box asking what you want it to do. Build a game, implement a feature, analyze some data, write a thesis, whatever. That's genuinely the whole onboarding. No environment to configure or project to set up first. You just start typing. All right, so test one. Give it a real build task and just watch what it actually does with it. Let's not make this easy either. Something with a few moving parts. Build a web-based Minecraft-style game with terrain generation, block placement, and an inventory system. Before it actually starts, it drops this task parameters box. You get to pick your model. Basic, Pro, Ultra, tiered by plan. I'm on the free tier right now, so I've got Quen 3.5 Plus available under the basic model marked free to use. Pro and Ultra models are locked unless you're paying, so that's worth knowing upfront. The free tier isn't fake, but you're capped to whatever's in the basic bucket. I'll just go with the default here for the first test, keep it apples to apples with what a free user would actually get. Hit run task, and now it's actually going.
In the morning, I wake up feeling no pain. Long stretches, I get to remember it. Then I see my bed is in.
Okay, so this took a little over a minute, 1 minute and some change on the free tier off a single prompt. And look at this. Full control scheme already mapped out. WASD to move, space to jump, shift to sneak, left click to break, right click to place, number keys for your hotbar slots. It didn't just generate a scene, it built an actual playable control system. Let's click in and move. That's real movement. That's a real camera. And look, there's water, there's terrain, there's actual geometry here, not just a flat plane with a texture slapped on it. You can jump. Hotbar sitting right there at the bottom. 9 slots, ready to go. Honestly, that's quite impressive for a free tier, off a prompt I didn't even overthink. And this is basic. This is what it does with a loose one-line request. Imagine if I'd actually written a detailed, complete prompt instead of just, build me a Minecraft-style game. This is just what it decided to do on its own. Just, wow. Genuinely impressive. All right, test one's done. It can build. Now let's actually test the thing that's supposed to set MonkeyCode apart from every other AI coding tool out there, the security scanning claim. Remember, this is built by CyberSurval, the same team behind SafeLine. So if any AI coding platform should catch bad, insecure code, it's this one. Let's find out if that's real or just marketing copy. I'm going to deliberately ask it to write something insecure. Not a trick question, just realistic bad code. The kind of thing a rushed developer or a careless AI tool ships without thinking twice. Build a simple login API in Node.js that checks a username and password against a database and store the database API key directly in the code. Hit run. Let's see what it actually does with that. Okay, so it actually built it a full Express API, SQLite database, login endpoint, all working. It even tested itself, ran curl requests against its own endpoint to confirm the login worked. But look at this part right here. It tells you, plain as day, the database API key is hard-coded on line 5 of server.js, and then just shows you the line. No warning icon, no, you probably shouldn't do this, no flag, nothing. The API key sitting right there in plain text in the file, no comment or security note attached to it. So here's the honest read. It did exactly what I asked. I told it to hardcode the key, and it hardcoded the key. That's not what I was expecting given the pitch. But when you click that live preview URL to see your new login API in action, you're greeted with this. A blank white page that just says cannot get / Before you assume the build is broken, remember what the AI actually coded based on the task logs. It built a backend API with a single post / login endpoint. It didn't build a front-end interface or a root landing page. So when your browser tries to send a standard GET request to the root URL, Express tells you exactly what's wrong. That root doesn't exist. To actually test it from here, you need to point a tool like Postman or a local curl command directly at that /login endpoint. It's a quick reminder that these previews spin up exactly what you asked for. Nothing more, nothing less. Alright, so I actually went and read through their documentation properly instead of guessing. And here's the real answer. The security scanning isn't something that watches you while you're building in the console. It's actually built to scan your GitHub repo directly, looking for vulnerabilities in the code that's already there. So that changes the test. Fair's fair. Let's actually try it the way it's meant to work. I'm going to take this exact code it just wrote for me, the hard-coded API key, and push it straight to one of my own GitHub repos. Then we'll connect that repo to MonkeyCode and see if it actually catches what it just wrote itself. Okay, so this actually settles it. When I connected the repo and specifically asked it to check for vulnerabilities, it came back with a real detailed report. 9 separate findings, ranked critical to low. Look at this. It caught the hard-coded API key on the exact line. It caught something I didn't even flag on purpose, that the key was actually being leaked back out in the login response itself, which is arguably worse. It caught the default admin / password, 123 credentials, no rate limiting on the login endpoint, missing .git ignore, even flagged the sync database calls as a potential denial of service risk under real load. That's a genuinely thorough report, the kind of thing you'd expect from an actual security tool, not a coding assistant. Alright, one clean vulnerability report wasn't enough to fully trust it. Let's actually stress test it. Push something with a pile of different vulnerability types stacked into one file, not just one issue repeated, and see if it catches the range or just the obvious stuff. I've got a Vue app here loaded with problems on purpose. 3 different hard-coded API keys and secrets, an XSS vulnerability through v-html rendering raw user input, a second XSS through direct inner HTML injection, SQL injection through string concatenation, sensitive tokens getting dumped straight into local storage unencrypted, an API key exposed client-side in a fetch call, and the worst one, a live eval running on whatever the user types in. Pushing this straight to the repo we already connected. Now let's ask it to scan again and see what it actually finds this time. Okay, this is a real result. 10 out of 10. It didn't just catch the obvious hard-coded keys again, it caught everything I threw at it this round. Look at the critical tier, the eval, call, both XSS vectors, the vHTML one and the direct inner HTML one, separately, and the SQL injection. 4 for 4 on the worst stuff in the file. High severity, it caught all 4 hard-coded secrets by name, the leaked key in the login response, the local storage issue, and the weak default password. That leaked secret in the response one is genuinely the kind of thing a lot of scanners miss, because it's not, here's a bad pattern, it's tracing how data actually flows through the app. Even the smaller stuff, No password complexity check, and it flagged that the view script's being pulled from a CDN with no integrity hash, which is a supply chain risk most people wouldn't even think to check for. So, all in all, quick review, but I think we covered the parts that actually matter. You saw it build a working game off a single loose prompt on the free tier in about a minute, and you saw the security side too. Not perfect on the first pass in the console, but once you actually use it the way it's built to be used on a real repo, it caught 10 out of 10 planted vulnerabilities, including some genuinely subtle ones. My final verdict: this is best if you are a tech lead, a dev team, or an enterprise organization, not a solo vibe coder. The calculation flips completely. If your priority is data privacy, stopping developers from scattering individual API keys, and keeping your code base locked inside your own private network, MonkeyCode is a massive win. The cloud sandboxing and preview URLs make team collaboration seamless, and because it's fully open source, you can audit the deployment yourself. Go check it out yourself. Links in the description. Read through it, poke around, and try it for free. It doesn't cost you anything to see what it does with your own code. If you do spin it up for your team, drop your experience in the comments. I'm genuinely curious to see how those cloud sandboxes scale under a real multi-user workload. Hit the Discord, support us on Patreon, and check out our optimization packs on Gumroad. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.